Welcome. Welcome, students, family, and friends of the 2018 Centennial Commencement Exercises of Eastern Mennonite University. Come rain or shine, cold or heat, we're going to say with the psalmist, "This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." This is our 100th year, and that means students graduating this year have a special place in EMU history. We began in 1917 in the midst of a cataclysmic world war, the Great War as it was called then, with 7 brave students right here in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Today, 100 years later, we have more than 1,700 students and additional instructional sites in Washington, D.C. and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I'm Susan Schultz-Huxman, president of Eastern Mennonite University, and I want to say on behalf of all of our faculty and staff and the Board of Trustees, I want to say to the 2018 class with much enthusiasm and joy, congratulations on your distinguished achievement. Commencement is a time to celebrate. We are so thankful that you are all gathered here under this big, white, welcoming tent. This tent is sturdy. This tent will keep you dry. And this tent is large enough to honor the centennial graduation class of 2018, one of the largest in university history. I was visiting with a proud grandfather of one of our students graduating today, and he informed me that 4 generations of his family have come through EMU. 4 generations. That really takes us back almost to the beginning. So I am wondering, on this historic occasion, how many 3- and 4-generation EMU families are in our audience this afternoon? Please stand and be recognized if you and your family represent 3 or 4 generations of EMU students. That is a beautiful, beautiful legacy. I want to welcome some special guests who are with us today, somewhere here in the front row. First of all, Dina Reed is our esteemed mayor of Harrisonburg. Dina, where are you? Thank you. Louise Hostetter is our devoted community volunteer chair of the EMU Centennial Steering Committee. Louise, where are you? I also want to welcome several members of the EMU Board of Trustees who have come from near and far to be with us today on this historic occasion, including our board chair, Ms. Kathleen Brenneman Nussbaum, here on the platform. Board of Trustees, would you please stand and be recognized? Today, EMU grads, I want to offer a warm welcome to your family and your friends, those who have believed in you, encouraged you, and financed you to help you celebrate this day of grand achievement. And a special thank you to the dozens and dozens of donors from coast to coast who have generously gifted EMU through scholarships and awards. And our students have directly benefited from many of these generous gifts. So students, how about a round of applause to thank your wonderful supporting cast, family, friends, and supporters. As our students know, the EMU experience is special. We are committed to educating the whole student intellectually, relationally, and spiritually. Our mission is bold: to prepare students to serve and lead with distinction in a global context as we embrace the enduring values of Christian discipleship, community, service, peacemaking, and cross-cultural encounter. Today, we send you forth, 2018 graduates, to new communities and to new opportunities, and pray that you will continue to follow Christ's call to witness faithfully, serve compassionately, and walk boldly in the way of peace. Kay Nussbaum of White Bear Lake, Minnesota, and chair of the EMU Board of Trustees, will lead in our opening prayer of invocation. The program will then proceed as indicated. Please stand for the invocation.
Please join me in prayer. Generous God, our hearts are full of gratitude as we gather to celebrate as a community. We give thanks for your presence among us and for this distinguished centennial class of 2018. Today, we acknowledge the work of each graduate in the achievement of this major goal on their life journey. We know that through this experience at EMU, they have been stretched, they have faced adversity, and they have overcome many, many obstacles. They have persevered, they've grown, and indeed flourished. We recognize that what they have invested, what they have gained, what they have contributed to this community and beyond, and who they have become. We are profoundly grateful for all who have journeyed with them to this place. Parents, siblings, extended family, faculty, mentors, staff administrators, pastors and youth leaders, peers, and friends. Gracious God, as this class of 2018 ventures out into new places in this community and around the world, may they take what they have learned, using wisely the talents that they have been entrusted. We ask for your blessing as they find their next place to call home. May each one find meaningful ways to use their experience and creativity to work for the common good of all. We ask that you embolden them to be the voice of change for those that are most vulnerable. May they seek justice and be agents of your love, compassion, and mercy. On this day, may we simply be present and enjoy this celebration. May this class go out with joy to serve and lead in their corner of this wonderfully diverse, beautiful, and broken world. May your peace go with them. Amen.
We come together to work so that face to face we can instruct our hands to build a house of grace. For every one of us here is a dwelling place, and we're assembled for a holy city. Alleluia, 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 your holy city. Alleluia, 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 alleluia. We come together to work so that hand in hand we raise our voices up to mark the place we stand. And every step that you take is a promised land when you are heading for a holy city. Alleluia, 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 your holy city. Alleluia, 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 holy city. Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia. We come together to work so that voice to voice we can command the world. Everyone rejoice when the messenger dares you to make your choice. Say you're preparing for a holy city. Alleluia, 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 your holy city. Alleluia, 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 your holy city. Alleluia, 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 your holy city. Alleluia, 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 your holy city. Alleluia, 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 your holy city. Alleluia, 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 your holy city. Alleluia, I'm a city. Alleluia, alleluia, your holy city. Alleluia, 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 holy city. Alleluia, 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 alleluia.
Congratulations. Greetings, fellow humans of Eastern Mennonite University, and welcome to this 2018 Centennial Commencement Day. I address you today as humans because if there's one thing I've learned during my time at EMU, it's that the titles set before us, teacher, parent, president, and student, are secondary to the human nature that precedes them and binds us together. And as humans, one of the things we do best is search for meaning. Our class, our generation is no different, and actually, I think it might be especially true for us. As I reflect on the conversations I've had during these 4 years and during my most recent semester abroad, a remarkable number of them seem to follow a single repeated fault line. How can I lead a life of meaning while also engaging with societal expectations and norms? Or similarly, how do I balance the meaningful life with the good life? Over and over again, in topics as varied as vegetarianism to coping with global poverty, the conversation inevitably returns to this fault line. I've heard your desire for meaning and for engagement. And as this fault line of ours begins to shift and rumble with the hard decisions of post-college life, I want to encourage us today to be brave and intentional in our actions. My father is a fellow soldier in the march against complacency. When I was in middle school, he left a long-term software sales job and a large paycheck to become an entrepreneur and a better father, ultimately living a life that more closely aligned with his values. His sacrifice has affected my family in many ways, from a closer-knit sense of family to new adventures in living poorly, although we prefer the phrase living simply. But the impression that I am most clearly left with is the determination to value relationships and meaningfulness over income, and if need be, to hunt down complacency to do so. The thing about complacency is you can't just expect it to announce its arrival and ask for a showdown in the wrestling ring. No, you have to set out on your own and begin the match yourself. That's how systems work, and that's why they're so scary. They're sneaky and quiet and subtle. And complacency, without a doubt, is a system in which we all take part. For me, complacency awareness is what cross-cultural is all about. Once torn out of the comfortable cocoon that for most of us is the United States, many privileges that we unfortunately take for granted become painfully obvious. For me, at least, the perspective that is gained from standing on a mountain in another country and looking back at myself and at the strengths and weaknesses of my own culture is at least as valuable as the cultural immersion we practice while we are there. One of the reasons I chose to travel twice on EMU Cross-Culturals was to reteach myself this lesson, knowing that too much time in my cocoon leads to a degree of complacency in my thoughts and lifestyle. One tactic that my roommate and I have used to combat complacency, something that began on our cross-cultural in China 2 years ago, is something we simply call the dream. The hand motion is a necessary part of that, the dream, yes. Whenever we discovered an especially exciting career or educational trajectory, or even just received a good grade on an exceptionally hard essay or test, that's the dream. Sometimes the dream even ended up on the wall in front of our desks, which I love as a conspicuous reminder against everyday complacency and a symbol for engaged living. My challenge and prayer for all of us is that we may remember to keep the dream in front of us as we move forward, even if that dream doesn't always fit our expectations or aspirations, even if it seems silly sometimes or out of reach always, even if our friends and family tell us to take it down off the wall. Let's not be afraid to be radically authentic. Instead, let's be radically vulnerable in our search for authenticity. And finally, let us always be courageous in our very human search for meaning and in our eternal struggle against complacency. Thank you.
It really is my honor and pleasure to be among every single one of you. Thank you so much for allowing me to share a message with you all today. Welcome, families, faculty, staff, and friends, and congratulations to the seminary, graduate, and undergraduate students of class of 2018. My name is Katie Lopez Godoy. I am an undergraduate student who again has been given the privilege and opportunity to share with you all a message. As I started to think of the message that I wanted to share with you, I honestly felt overwhelmed and pressured to deliver something meaningful. And I kept asking myself, what do I have to share? What do I have to share with you? In that moment of feeling inadequate, I was taken back to when I was about 9 years old, and a mentor took me to see a movie, one of the first movies that I saw when I first came to the United States. It was called Aquila and the Bee. The scene that I remember was when the protagonist of the movie read aloud a poem that I later found was written by Marianne Williamson. In the poem, it said, "Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. We were born to make manifest of the glory of God that is within us. It's in everyone." So I sat still and I closed my eyes, and in the next few minutes of sitting, different images and memories started to cross my mind. I want to share some of the memories and images that came to mind, and even if they seem without a logical sequence, please bear with me as I invite you to think of similar feelings or situations you may have had experienced. I see a wooden figure of a woman who is carrying a child. I am gathered in deep prayer with classmates as part of my spiritual formation class. I see Katrina Poplet smile and hear her words of encouragement to go and receive my grandma after not seeing her in 13 years. I see the eyes of Celeste Thomas, Timothy Seidel, Jonathan Swartz, Isabel Castillo, Kathy Evans, Maria Esther, Ana Messer, Ariel Barbosa, among other incredibly committed and strong-willed leaders around the Life Suite long table ready to discuss how we can help figure and fight for DACA after it was rescinded back in September of 2017. I cry with Scott Air after I share my story of being documented in chapel. I feel all the tension in my body as I watch in awe from the stands the game where the men's basketball team won a really close game by a few points. In the last few seconds, I see Malik Jones racing to make the basket and feel the ecstatic energy from everyone who is cheering and celebrating the win. I see the smiles and hear the uplifting words from everyone in the education department, cheering me on to continue to work hard and teach from the heart. I see the exhausted, yet inspiring spirits from my family members who work day and night to provide for me and to show me that hard work and perseverance is a must if I want to be part of this world. I see the wide blue eyes of one of my first grade students as he holds my legs and tells me, "I wish you didn't have to leave. I wish you stayed with us forever." I open my eyes and I ask myself, what do all these memories have in common? And I figure out that the one thing in common that all these memories have is that there are people in every memory. I am taken back to a quote I saw in a restaurant, silly place. The quote said, "People are the best thing that can happen to anyone." And then I started to think, it was people who helped me learn how to walk, not just when I first was born. It was people who foster my curiosity. It was people who inspire me to go beyond what I thought I could do. It was people who change and continue to impact my life. I realize we have been given two precious gifts. One is to build relationships with others, and the second is to see with our hearts. Each one of us has experiences that have molded our minds, our spirits, and provided us with strength to continue to walk in what we know as life. It has been thanks to the people that we have been able to describe the beauty of this world, to share our greatest joys and our deepest fears. Each one of us is light, and each one of us needs to see the world in different ways. Let us not be afraid of ourselves. Let our power shine incredibly bright. Let the relationships with others empower us to bring about change. Let everyone and everything be our teachers. We are indeed powerful beyond measure, and our light has the power to liberate others. I am confident to say that everyone you touch will be impacted and transformed by the hard work of your hands and feet, by the brilliance of your minds, and the immense love in your hearts. My prayer for us all is that fear does not guide us, but instead the memories and experiences become the foundation to the wonderful path that awaits us all. As we continue to live and therefore be manifest of God's glory. My deepest congratulations to each one of you. We did it. We are on our way. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, faculty, and the class of 2018. Before beginning the adult degree program, my classmates and I had walked different paths. Our ages span across a few decades. For one reason or another, we all placed our educational journeys on hold. Some of us raised children, traveled the world, cared for sick family members, or were sick ourselves. But we all found ourselves at a crossroads. We made the decision for ourselves that we wanted something more. We wanted to learn more, to do more, and to be more. As the saying goes, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. Daniel Goleman added, "The less aware we are of what makes us passionate, the more lost we will be." So we took a leap of faith and jumped with both feet back into academia. On our convocation night, Professor Bob Davis spoke about staying on the raft, a metaphor for the adult degree program, because once you fall off, it is difficult to climb back on. And if you fall off, make sure to ask for help. Amelia Earhart once said, "The most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is merely tenacity." We boarded the Leadership and Organizational Management Cohort #1 raft and braved the rapids together while taking Bob's message to heart. We had some challenges with technology, but who doesn't? We pushed ourselves through class deadlines on top of 40 to 60-hour work weeks. We were paper writing weekend warriors. We joked about assignments driving us to pull out whatever hair we had left. We often checked in with each other about where we were in relation to the raft, holding on white-knuckled, in control, or in the water. As a tight-knit cohort, we extended help to each other along the way. Throughout our journey, we discovered more about who we are and what makes us passionate. We gained a new sense of direction. We discovered many times as we navigated the rapids together that what John F. Kennedy said was true. Leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. And today we can stand on solid ground knowing that we made it. We have been empowered with tools to create connection, affect change, and leave the world better than when we found it. In other words, this program and journey have been life-changing. We are proof that the biggest challenges have the greatest rewards. I encourage everyone to continue thinking, speaking, and acting with this in mind. We celebrate today, whether we are 22, 42, or 62. But tomorrow we act again. We are leaders. We are powerful. That grit and tenacity will sustain us because we know without a doubt who we are and where we are going, thanks to the guidance and support from EMU.
Hello. Some I'm Sabrina Bress. I am in the Masters of Counseling program. First and foremost, congratulations to all of you, the graduating class of EMU 2018. We made it. What an honor and privilege it is to stand before you all today on your special day and share highlights of my journey since I've been here. My oldest son said to me when I told him about the speech, "Mom, they chose you because you're such a strong leader. You're kind of a beast, really." Thank you for that, son. Those are words that I will not soon forget. The funny thing about it, though, they are words that I've heard repeatedly my whole life. You are meant to be a leader. You will do wonderful things from a place of leadership. Sounds really amazing, right? But if I'm to be quite honest, they are words that have frightened me more times than I can even count. To be a great leader, you have to be responsible. To be a great responsible leader, you have to be able to cultivate new, responsible, great leaders. To be a great leader, you must first know yourself. One of my favorite authors, Nikki Giovanni, says, once you know who you are, you don't have to worry anymore. And I've spent most of my adult life screaming, "I don't know, Nikki. I just don't know who I am." It was the not knowing that eventually drew me into an email conversation with Dr. Haas. And almost instantaneously, her loving kindness solidified my decision to apply at EMU. Thank you, Teresa. I'm not sure that I've ever told you how much those first conversations meant to me. Little did I know that the next 2 years would be chock full of those same intimate, important conversations. Dr. Horst once said to me, "Don't be afraid to step off the pedestal, Sabrina." Dr. Early has always affirmed for me the importance of steadying myself in the grounding of something greater than I. Dr. Hammond reminded me, "Find your own pace, but mind the gravel." And just recently, Dr. Kozer said, "Yes, Sabrina, always challenge complexities." Initially, I thought, what a strange anecdotal conversation string of things that I learned here while I was at EMU. But then I started to think, many of you probably have had the same impactful, important conversations with your faculty and staff here at EMU. Things that at first seemed anecdotal, and then you realize they were rife with meaning for a wandering student soul. And maybe not. For me, it's just a beautiful representation of all that I have learned here. And if I could say nothing else today, I want to be able to leave that with you. Be a kind and gentle leader. Remember that sometimes you will stand and sometimes you will stand aside. You must always lead from a place of knowing that there is something stronger and more powerful there to support you. You will surely set your own pace, but remember, don't lose your footing, and don't ever be afraid to challenge. These words will surely make meaning for me as I continue to know who I am and where I want to go in my journey, and I hope that they can find meaning for you as well.
Good afternoon. My name is Sarah Bailey, and I'm grateful to be able to represent the seminary class of 2018 this afternoon. Graduates, seminary graduates, all those who made it possible for us to exist, to come here, to learn here, to be transformed here. Today is the day. Today's the day we've been waiting for, the day we've been striving and sometimes crawling towards. Today is the day that it all ends. The Hebrew and Greek exams, the hundreds of pages of required readings per week, the late night paper writing sessions, the pain and the tears as we ripped open our souls in formation classes and CPE. Today, we trade it all in for a piece of paper. But it's more than just a piece of paper that's fancy and has our names written on it in calligraphy. This paper is our receipt, the symbol of the exchange that's happened for us here. Because over these past years in seminary, we have been trading things in. And today is the culmination of that. We're trading in all the bucketfuls of coffee that we've lived on for some spiritual awakening. We're trading in our insecurities, for new confidence. We're trading in our original questions for some new and better ones. We're trading in our biases for some compassion. We're trading in our desires to change the world for some skills to actually do it. We're trading in our completely full and sometimes over full schedules for new schedules that will probably be equally as full, but hopefully we'll have some Sabbath rest time factored in. We're trading in who we thought we were for the people that God made us to be. One assignment, one reading, one hallway discussion, one tearful moment, one chapel service at a time. I think I speak for all the seminary grads, and if not, just pretend like I do, when I say that we are eternally grateful for the professors and staff who have guided us and walked with us and held us up in the times that we needed it. We're grateful for the family and friends and church communities that supported us with prayer and encouragement and even with some money to follow this calling. And above all, we're thankful for the God who loves us and who sees something valuable in these messed up people that we are. We've gotten the overhaul, and now we are ready for the ministries that await us, or at least we're as ready as we'll ever be. We're excited for the callings to work with young people, with the elderly, the sick, the traumatized, the victims, the prisoners, the conflicted, the searching, the faithful, and the faithless. As wise interpreters, mature practitioners, discerning communicators, and transformational leaders with creativity on our minds, with good rhythm and rule in our bodies, with gratitude on our hearts, and a story of God's love and power on our lips, we go forth, each to a different place where God is calling us. We go from here as pastors, as counselors, campus ministers, chaplains, activists, and much, much more. But most important of all, we go out from here being better friends, better family members, better members of our community, and better Christ followers than we were when we came in. Today is the day. This is the day we've been waiting for. But this is only the beginning. Thank you.
This year, to mark the beginning of Eastern Mennonite University's second century, we are, for the first time in our history, conferring an honorary doctoral degree upon one of our most distinguished alumni. An EMU honorary doctorate honors a person of high character who has demonstrated a pattern of extraordinary achievement in endeavors that reflect the mission and values of Eastern Mennonite University. Today, we are conferring the degree of Doctor of Justice honoris causa, certifying extraordinary achievement in peace building or social justice work. President Huxman, I am pleased to present to you Ms. Lima Bowie, a most worthy recipient of EMU's very first Doctor of Justice degree. Ms. Bowie is recommended for this award by EMU's Faculty Status Committee and the Board of Trustees. Ms. Bowie, would you please step forward? Lima Bowie is a 2007 EMU alumna and recipient of our Master's in Conflict Transformation degree. In 2011, she was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for her leadership of the Women of Liberia Mass Action for Peace, which brought together Christian and Muslim women in a nonviolent movement that played a pivotal role in ending Liberia's long civil war. She tells the story in her memoir, Mighty Be Our Powers, and in the documentary film, Pray the Devil Back to Hell. Since then, she has founded several peace-building organizations focusing particularly on the role of women in peace-building. At EMU, she was instrumental in the 2011 founding of the Women's Peacebuilding Leadership Program, which has since provided 42 women from Africa and the South Pacific with academic training through a graduate certificate program. 8 of them will be receiving certificates in today's ceremony. Currently, Ms. Bowie is an Oxfam Global Ambassador and Distinguished Scholar in Residence at Union Seminary in New York. She is a member of numerous boards and task forces working for sustainable, equitable development around the world. President Huxman, I recommend to you Ms. Lima Bowie for the conferral of the degree Doctor of Justice, honoris causa.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty of Eastern Mennonite University, and upon the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and the Commonwealth of Virginia, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Justice, honoris causa, and grant you all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. We commission you to practice the living faith to which God has called you. With this degree, we urge you to do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with God. Please join me in welcoming Lima Bowie as she brings our commencement address entitled Urgently Needed, Defenders of Peace and Justice.
Thank you, President Huxman. This is really a lot of pressure. 100 years of EMU's existence, who would have told anyone that a girl from West Africa, a tiny village, a tiny country, who came here to validate and to justify her inclusion in peace-building work at the community level, would come back several years later as the first honorary degree awardee. It's really special, and I want to thank you all. Thank you, President Huxman, and I pray that I can continue to live up to the expectations of this great university and this wonderful community. I would like to say congratulations to the graduates. It's a special day for me because I have one student graduating with her undergrad degree, Delight Nana Amatego. Several years ago, my daughter Amber was probably 12 when she walked into the room and said, "Mama, you want to invest?" Of course I want to invest. With all these many children, I need a firm financial backing. I would know later on that when Amber asks you to invest, don't take her seriously. And then she said, I have a friend at school whose father is having a rough time and she's about to be put out of school. I want you to invest in her. And from about 7th grade till today, I've been on this journey with Delight. So it's a real honor to be here and watch her graduate with her bachelor's degree, but also graduating as magna cum laude. That's awesome. Congratulations, Delight. You know, when you're the commencement speaker, you have a child that graduated from EMU, they will ask you to do something. So Kennedy or Carrie K, Josh says, congrats and well up. Now to serious business. President Huxman, member of the Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, parents, well-wishers, graduating class of 2018, ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed a great honor to be here. This is indeed another day, week, month, year, decade, and century that the Lord has made, and we should all rejoice and be glad in it. A few days ago, I was on a flight from New York to Minnesota, St. Peter's, where I was supposed to speak at the Gustavus Adolphus University. And we sat on the flight, and it was normal flight, very pleasant, some very pleasant individuals on the flight. And all of a sudden, our flight attendant, a man, said, look at the skyline. Oh, beautiful city, Minneapolis. And this old man excitedly jumped into the conversation and said, yeah, it's really beautiful from this side and that side and the other side. It was a really pleasant conversation. And then this old man made the mistake of asking the flight attendant, are you from Minneapolis? Oh, no. Oh, my God, I hate big cities. And at that moment, it was like the floodgate of pessimism opened. The world is horrible. I've lost faith in humanity. 1 minute we're talking about the beauty of the skyline, and the next minute this guy's conversation just like a downpour of rain, like damping everyone's spirit. Say, I stopped believing in humanity. Oh my God, it's so horrible. And you should see the way they leave the flight when they're getting off. I've given up on this world. I've given up on humans. And as I sat there, I was tempted to say, Lord, you need help. But then I was also tempted to offer some hope. But being the only black person almost on that flight, trust me, I know I'm enough. But I told myself, stay out of this one, Lima. So I just sat there thinking, what in the world could have brought this man to this place of pessimism, to the place of misery, and to the place of lack of belief in humanity? And then as part of my life, I'm officially crazy, except that I haven't gotten any certification from a mental institution. I know that because I'm the only person who goes to this website called Gun Archive to look at the number of shootings in the US, and go to this other website called List of Terror Incidents in the World, and to this other website of wars in the world. But after getting off that flight, I said to myself, it's been a while. Maybe this guy visits these sites. Let me go and see what's going on. And it would amaze you, or some of you already know, 29 conflicts in Africa, 241 insurgent groups, 16 countries in Asia in conflict, 173 insurgent groups, 10 European countries, between 81 insurgent groups, 7 countries in the Middle East, 257 insurgent groups. In the Americas, 6 countries between 28 drug cartels. Let's also take a look at the numbers of terrorist attacks in May. And our last check on Saturday, since the beginning of May, there have been 23 terror attacks in different parts of the world, including Central African Republic, and there have been a total of 206 deaths and thousands of injuries. This is from the 1st of May to the 4th. In the month of April, there have been about 106 terror attacks with a total of 1,585 deaths and thousands of injuries. In the US alone, gun violence, there have been a total number of 19,578 gun-related incidents in the US since the beginning of the year, with a total of 4,854 deaths. Children account between 0 to 11 years account for 202, teens account for 857, and there have been a total of 83 mass shootings. If you go back there today, the number has surged because last night it went up. Beyond these numbers, when we look around our world, especially in places that people never really think about, you have issues of the housing crisis, you have rape and exploitation of women in different parts of the world, the threat to the environment, and many other vices. A few years back in New Orleans, a little boy said to me, "Miss Lima, I don't watch TV anymore because when you watch TV, all you hear is murders, 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 and more murders." The question we're all burdened with, even you as graduates and those coming out of CJP with fancy degree in conflict transformation, restorative justice, who's going to fix our world? Who's going to give hope to the hopeless? Who will solve the problems of our world? I get this question all of the time. Do you think there's hope? Can we ever get to the place where humanity will respect the way of life of people? The problems of the world, many problems are calling us to turn to them urgently. Between Tuesday and Saturday, it is not normal for a country like the US to have at least 500 incidents of gun violence. This is a major crisis that needs us extra and urgent attention. Outside the US, we have the Rohingya crisis, ethnic cleansing happening on the watch of many individuals. Unfortunately, my own fellow Nobel laureate, Aung San Suu Kyi. You go to the DR Republic, Democratic Republic of Congo, women and men suffer at different rates of rape and abuse. Several years ago, I found myself in the middle of a room with 100 women rape victims in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And these women, one after the other, told their stories of pain and suffering. And on the last day of my trip in Congo, this doctor from Doctors Without Borders came to have dinner with me. And he sat down, took out his iPhone and handed it to me and said, "Tell me the age of this child." I looked and said, "Well, she's probably 8 or 10. And he said, "No, she's almost 18. This is a young girl that was kept in the mines and repeatedly raped for 6 months. When they had no use for her sexually, they took knife and stabbed her in many different places, threw her on the roadside for her to die. She lived. A group of doctors were driving along and they saw this creature and decided to investigate because it was moving. Took her to the hospital, and they had been treating her. When I saw that picture, it was almost 6 months of intensive medical care. You have issues of Me Too and Time's Up and people in huge places and big places using their powers and the authority they have to exploit and abuse women. Every day in the world that we live in, we have a crisis. South Sudan is crying out to us. Central African Republic is crying out to us. Mali needs our urgent attention. Unfortunately for us, the United Nations, even the leader sitting up there said in one meeting, there's a lot of pessimism about the UN's ability to provide world peace? Who will continue to do this work? Who will keep up the pressure? Who will stand up and rebuke our leaders when their languages are so divisive and reinforces age-old stereotypes of Africans being one way and Americans being another way and Hispanic being another way? Who will stand up to the status quo of winners take it all? Who will stand up and reinforce unity in diversity to our young children and say to them, regardless of the tone of your skin, your ethnic group, your social class, and your political and sexual identity, we need to coexist for the good of our world? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, there's an urgent need for individuals to rise up for the cause of peace and justice. You may contend I live in Harrisonburg. My community is free of armed conflict and war. Well, I will contend with you that as long as there are people sleeping on cardboard boxes in your streets, you need to rise up. As long as there is a long line where you have people standing up and can't find a meal a day in one of the wealthiest countries in the world, you need to rise up. As long as the pay gap between men and women in different parts and different career areas, there is a huge gap and a huge difference, you need to rise up. As long as a particular skin color cannot really say, I am a part of this, you need to rise up. As long as we still have problems with people's private lives and their sexual orientation, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you need to stand up. As long as I come through Homeland Security, and because I'm dressed like this and have a head wrap, I'm taken into a room for extra screening, you need to stand up. As long as the way I pray and the way I look will make some people uncomfortable, you need to stand up. As long as the reproductive rights of women is still being discussed by men in black suits in rooms, we need people to stand up. The defenders of justice and peace that we urgently seek are individuals who understand that this is a 24/7 job. You don't take vacations. I get questions, how are you taking care of yourself? How are you resting? Can you rest? When in some places you've been asked, can you advise this leader on this thing? And you take 10 steps forward, and in 2 days you listen to the news and you have 20 steps backwards. The defenders that we're looking for are individuals who understand that peace and justice is borderless. So I can interfere in anything that impacts women in the US just as I will interfere in things that impact women in Liberia. Because you know, there is a saying that injustice one place is injustice everywhere. The defenders of peace and justice are individuals that will preach and walk their talk. Gone are the days where you will go to the airports and protest a law that says we can't allow Muslims, certain types of Muslim in our country, when you live on campus and you've never spoken to one of those types of Muslims on your campus. Well, I never really expected to get an applause because I never get applause for that. The defenders of peace and justice that we're seeking are individuals who will post their rants on Facebook and Twitter, but will accompany it by in-person protest and by meeting with their leaders to speak their minds. But most importantly, The defenders of peace and justice are those who understand what it means to be a part of the collective humanity. That regardless of your skin color, the way you pray, we all breathe the same air God made all of us, whoever you know him to be. And that collective humanity is the one that will insist that I respect someone regardless of their political, social view, or their economic status. The defenders of peace and justice that we seek are those who live out the South African versions of Ubuntu, easily translated, I am because of what we all are. Haile Selassie once said, through our history, it has been the inaction of those who could have acted, the indifference of those who should have known better, the silence of the voice of justice when it mattered the most, that has made it possible for evil to triumph. In our world, as we look left, right, center, and forward, even not very far down the street, we see evil taking over our world. We see justice being denied to those who are urgently in need of justice. We still see spaces and places where women cannot be what they're supposed to be. Their God-given gifts cannot be used. When we look around, we still see young men, because of the color of their skin, being arrested just because they're sitting and lounging in a restaurant too long. We still look around and see people who really should come to SPI and come to programs that will benefit their communities being denied visa on the basis of how they pray. There are so many things that we all need to rise up, stand up, and do something for. Dear graduates, it doesn't take a huge grant from USAID to make a change. It doesn't take a lot of money for you to step out there and provide hope for someone who has lost hope in the world. It doesn't take a lot to change the world. When I started my work in social justice, I started with 4 young girls in my community, reinforcing to them the value of education, the value of bodily integrity. Several years later, I was able to meet one who looked me in the eye and said, I'm finished with high school. I don't have a baby and I'm off to college. From my neighborhood, it was like I had just been told I won the Nobel Peace Prize again. It doesn't take a lot to walk up to someone and give them hope. Last night, as I sat with Jan Jenner and her husband, I remember my time at EMU. And I don't know if anyone knows her, Mary Bob Holmes. She used to live at the VMRC. And one of the days that I was here, I always refer, there were students in CJP who were Fulbright, and there were some of us who were empty brights, meaning we didn't have any scholarships. So, of course, as one of the empty bright students, I had all of my resources was gone. My friend Noria Abdi would usually share with me, but it was an embarrassing time to keep going back to Noria and saying, I need money. So this was one of the mornings where I couldn't even find a sandwich for breakfast. I sat in my room, wrote all my papers, and cried. But then I decided, let me just take a walk. So I walked up and sat in that building there. In the sun, I just sat there. And this old lady walked in. Hi. Are you an international student? And I said, yes. Do you need someone to help you edit your paper? And I was like, Lord Jesus. This is the last thing I need this morning. And I said, politely, yes. Well, she was old. She seemed like she needed a friend. Well, I can help you. I said, well, but I don't have my paper here. It's back in my apartment. And she sat next to me and said, young lady, I don't know what is going on with me, but pardon me. I was in my apartment and the Lord told me to make a sandwich. And here. I'm sitting there and saying, do I pretend as if I'm not hungry? Or just take it? And I took the sandwich and we had a conversation, but it began a friendship. And the reason why I'm telling this story is because that moment was one of those moments that taught me that there will always be people out there who will show concern when everyone else in the world is too busy to look down. Distinguished graduates, you're stepping into the world where the stats are discouraging. People's actions are unpredictable. Leaders' decisions are nerve-wracking. Step out. Whatever your calling may be, defend peace and justice with your actions, your interactions, and your attitude. Most especially when issues are no longer trending and the hashtags are no longer hashing and the lights and cameras are off. Defend peace, defend justice. You could never go wrong. I thank you.
Wow. Well, Lema, thank you so much for your prophetic words. And despite the crushing crises all around us, that we not get mired in misery and pessimism and rise up, peace builders urgently needed, one step at a time. At this time, I invite the faculty and staff of EMU to please stand. All faculty and staff at EMU. Assembled guests, these are the salt of the earth people who make EMU the great place that it is. Graduates, please lead us in saying thank you with a round of applause.
President Huxman, faculty, Board of Trustee representatives, parents, family, friends, I am honored to present the Eastern Mennonite Seminary graduates, the Master of Arts in Christian Leadership and the Master of Divinity classes of 2018 on this occasion of the 100th annual commencement of Eastern Mennonite University. We recognize the following persons: those who have completed requirements for the Master of Arts in Christian Leadership and the Master of Divinity degree, May 2018. Those who will complete requirements for the Master of Arts in Christian Leadership and the Master of Divinity degree, summer or December 2018. Will the seminary master's degree candidates please stand for the conferring of degrees? President Huxman, on behalf of the Eastern Mennonite University faculty, I present these candidates for their degrees.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty of Eastern Mennonite University, and upon the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and the Commonwealth of Virginia, I confer upon each of you, as presented, the degree of Master of Arts in Christian Leadership and the Master of Divinity degree, with all the rights, privileges, and honors pertaining thereto. I commission you to share the living faith to which God has called you. With this degree, we further urge you to do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with God. You may move your tassels from right to left, and you may be seated.
Now I am honored to present the students who have completed the requirements for the Graduate Certificate in Ministry Leadership. Will seminary graduate certificate candidates please stand? Is there anyone here? Let's go ahead and confer them anyway. On behalf of Eastern Mennonite University, I wish to recognize you as presented for the intensive study and achievement in completing the requirements of the course prescribed, and therefore award you the Graduate Certificate in Ministry Leadership.
We commission you to share the living faith to which God has called you, and with this certificate, we further urge you to do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with God.
President Huxman, faculty, Board of Trustee representatives, parents, family, friends, I am honored to present the Master of Arts in Biomedicine, Master of Arts in Conflict Transformation, the Master of Arts in Counseling, the Master of Arts in Education, the Master of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies, the Master of Business Administration, the Collaborative Masters of Business Administration, the Master of Arts in Organizational Leadership, and the Master of Science in Nursing graduating classes of 2018 on this occasion of the 100th Annual Commencement of Eastern Mennonite University. We recognize the following persons: those who have completed requirements for the Master of Arts in Biomedicine, Master of Arts in Conflict Transformation, the Master of Arts in Restorative Justice, the Master of Arts in Counseling, the Master of Arts in Education, the Master of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies, Master of Business Administration, the Collaborative Masters of Business Administration, Master of Arts in Organizational Leadership, and the Master of Science in Nursing degree, May 2018. And also those who will complete requirements for the Master of Arts in Biomedicine, Master of Arts in Conflict Transformation, Master of Arts in Restorative Justice, Master of Arts in Counseling, Master of Arts in Education, Master of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies, Master of Business Administration, the Collaborative Master of Business Administration, Master of Arts in Organizational Leadership, and Master of Science in Nursing degree, summer or December 2018. Will the master's degree candidates please stand for the conferring of the degrees? President Huxman, on behalf of the Eastern Mennonite University faculty, I present these candidates for their degrees.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty of Eastern Mennonite University, and upon the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and the Commonwealth of Virginia, I confer upon each of you as presented degrees of Master of Arts in Biomedicine, Master of Arts in Conflict Transformation, Master of Arts in Restorative Justice, Master of Arts in Counseling, Master of Arts in Education, Master of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies, Master of Business Administration, the Collaborative Master of Business Administration, Master of Arts in Organizational Leadership, and Master of Science in Nursing degrees, with all the rights, privileges, and honors pertaining hereto. We commission you to share the living faith to which God has called you. With this degree, we further urge you to do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with God. You may move your tassels from right to left, and you may be seated.
I am honored to present the students who have completed the requirements for the Graduate Certificate in Conflict Transformation, Graduate Certificate in Peace-Building Leadership, Graduate Certificate in Restorative Justice, Graduate Certificate in Restorative Justice in Education, Graduate Certificate in Humanitarian Action Leadership, Graduate Certificate in Nonprofit Leadership and Social Entrepreneurship, and the Graduate Certificate in Transformational Leadership. Will the Graduate Certificate candidates please stand?
On behalf of Eastern Mennonite University, I wish to recognize you as presented for the intensive study and achievement in completing the requirements of the course prescribed, and therefore award you the Graduate Certificate in Conflict Transformation, a Graduate Certificate in Peace-Building Leadership, a Graduate Certificate in Restorative Justice, Graduate Certificate in Restorative Justice in Education, Graduate Certificate in Humanitarian Action Leadership, Graduate Certificate in Nonprofit Leadership and Social Entrepreneurship, and the Graduate Certificate in Transformational Leadership. We commission you to share the living faith to which God has called you. With this certificate, we further urge you to do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with God. You may be seated.
President Huxman, faculty, Board of Trustee representatives, parents, family, friends, I am honored to present the graduating class of 2018 on this occasion of the 100th annual commencement of Eastern Mennonite University. We recognize the following: all who have completed requirements for the Bachelor of Arts degree December 2017, all who have completed requirements for the Bachelor of Science degree December 2017, all who have completed requirements for the Associate of Arts degree May 2018, all who have completed requirements for the Bachelor of Arts degree May 2018, all who have completed requirements for the Bachelor of Science degree May 2018, those who will complete requirements for the Bachelor of Arts degree summer or December 2018, those who will complete requirements for the Bachelor of Science degree summer or December 2018, those who will complete requirements for the Certificate in Pastoral Ministry summer or December 2018. Will the undergraduate class of 2018 please stand for the conferring of degrees? President Huxman, on behalf of the Eastern Mennonite University faculty, I present these candidates for their respective degrees.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty of Eastern Mennonite University and on the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and the Commonwealth of Virginia, I confer upon each of you as presented the degrees of Associate of Arts, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, and Certificate in Pastoral Ministry, with all the rights, privileges, and honors pertaining hereto. We commission you to share the living faith to which God has called you. With this degree, we further urge you to do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with God. You may move your tassels from right to left, and you may be seated. We recognize that many of you have come to honor a particular graduate today, and it is understandable that you may be eager to show a little enthusiasm as they receive their diploma. Please know that there are over 400 graduates to be honored, and we would like for each of them to receive the recognition that they deserve. And that will be possible if your enthusiasm is moderate enough so that each graduate's name can be heard when announced. We also realize that some of you will want to take photos of your graduate. We ask that you take them quickly over in this area only, and then step back to your seats quickly for others to have their place. And finally, we would invite you to refrain from visiting with one another until after the service, when there will be adequate time to meet and greet on the lawn following the recessional. I did see a pizza delivery guy come in here, so I guess it's okay if you eat. Amazing what our students think of, isn't it? On their phones. Thank you for being respectful to each other on this various joyous occasion for all.
Now will the seminary graduates prepare to come forward to receive your diplomas as I read your name. We will begin with the Master of Arts. Please hold your applause until the end. Neil R. Benedict. Rhonda K. Good. Micah C. Hurst. Christian J. Nichols. Lori Jean Akins. Sarah Christine Bailey. Joshua E. Dalton. Gabriel Philip Dodd. J. Jeffrey Fletcher. Brandon Michael Hawley. Stephen Adam King. Alexander James Mitchell. Matthew Allen Nice. Shankar Rai. Charles Raymond Tinsley III. Jason Allen Wagner. Philip Jason Yoder.
Now will the master's graduates prepare to come forward to receive your diplomas as I read your name. We will begin with the Master of Arts. Please hold your applause until the end. Uzair Saeed Ali. Mehi Isti Hassan. T. DeLovo. Tyler Von Steve. Chong Juju Tan. Silvia Menendez Alcalde. Brenna Case. Matthew Ryan Fazy. Leanna Rose Hershey. Yungji Tang. Andudu Adam Enel Kuku. Jennifer Chi Lee. Wayne Francis Marriott. Ian Steele Pools. Brian McLaughlin. Matthew Michael Tibbles. Andrea Carolina Moya Urueña. Chitran Yuan. Deborah M. Bayless. Mturi Kajungu Samson. Boris Alejandro Ozuna Urueta. Claudia Costa Moreira. Lyle D. Seeger. Ashley Lynn Bunenberg. Sabrina Lynn Antoinette Burris. Bethany Noel Hockman Chup. Courtney Folks Kuduri. Catherine Joanne Curran. Manar Fawari. Shauna Elaine France. Heather Love Hayden. Casey Marie Hurin. Mackenzie Lee Lapp. Catherine Taylor Long. Rebecca Jane Pfeiffer. Matthew Allen Nice. Amanda Lee Steyer. Iman Gorm Alesbali. Megan Wenger Bazan. Allison Nicole Blau. Lillian Ruth Coletta. Sarah Ann Coles. Ling Dong. Elizabeth Kristen Lamb. Richard Aaron Lamb. Deborah E. Moody. Emily Moyer Warren. Belinda C. Ray. Sabrine Youssef Salasargardi. Jonathan Lee Stanley. Rachel Annika Booker Swank. Jill A. Tanksley. Laura Ashley Wheeler. Hannah Kim. Kuntashe Brianna Lewis. Stephen C. Shank. Tanisha Milena Weitzman. Ryan Durante Yates. Petra Mungubu. Priscilla Magliari Said. Reuben Jacob Dick Stace. Melissa Stoner. Matthew R. Lehman Weens. Jesse Aaron Aya Johnson. Aubrey L.B. Kreider. Zane Allen Craig. Elizabeth Ann Martin. Diane Louise McCarthy. Jennifer Lee Piper. Shankar Rai. Robin W. Ruhlman. Ryan Durante Yates. Scott Edward Beckler. Bettina Joyce Adler Carter. Kathy L. Collins. Allison Nicole Crawford. Evelyn Marie DeGoye. Miriam D. Bender Ferguson. Valerie A. Fulton. Christine J. Kraus. Courtney Christian Lambert. Teresa M. Park. Julianne Joy Sechrist. Krista Y. Tyson. Janine Marie Rose Uzel. Please join me in congratulating these recipients of the Master of Arts.
Some baccalaureate degree students will be graduating with academic honors today. You'll find the designation of honors listed in the back of your commencement booklet. Now, will the undergraduate students please prepare to come forward to receive your diplomas as I read your names? Mireya Tatiana Rodriguez. Jennifer Wendy Arnold, magna cum laude. Joel Amos Christoffel, summa cum laude. Anaid Cordova, cum laude. Cindy Wright Wheelbarger, cum laude. Elizabeth Wilhelm, cum laude. Kathy Jill Young. Kathleen Marie Kennedy. Chriselle Lee Morris. David Lyndon Nestor, summa cum laude. Christina L. Watson. Caitlin Elise Abrahams, summa cum laude. Taylor Bradley Allen, cum laude. Alyssa Faith Moyer Barahona, summa cum laude. Megan Elizabeth Bishop, cum laude. Perry Lewis Blosser, cum laude. Natasha Ayana Bridge. Dylan John Buchanan. Victoria Elizabeth Campbell, magna cum laude. Anna Louise Cecil. Kevin Anthony Clark. Emily Grace Clatterbuck, summa cum laude. Jamie Lee Damastis. Adrian Dora Durstein, magna cum laude. Aaron E. Dunmore, magna cum laude. Joseph Nathaniel Arbaugh. Benjamin David Duran. Colton Matthew Fry, summa cum laude. Matej Bligorovich. Liesel May Graber, summa cum laude. Abram D. Hartzler, cum laude. Gemma Elizabeth Hedrick. Rachel K. Holderman, cum laude. Harrison Gregory Horst, summa cum laude. Corey M. Hostetler, magna cum laude. Thane J. Hostetler, magna cum laude. Jack Francis Hummel. Samantha Taylor Jacob. Joshua C. Kratz. Jessica Renee Longenecker, cum laude. Sarah Marie Longenecker, magna cum laude. Luis Edgardo Longo. Katie Sarai Lopez Godoy, magna cum laude. Lila Grace Marks, summa cum laude. Michaela Q-Lay Martin. Josiah Donald Mauger. Aaron Paige Mays. Sari Love Mendoza. Anna Catherine Messer, magna cum laude. Berseba Milliard. Jasmine Shanice Miller, magna cum laude. Sarah Elizabeth Schenk Moreno. Jonathan Edward Moser, cum laude. Joseph Lloyd Muma, cum laude. Justine Angela Nolt, magna cum laude. Kara Alexis Painter. Brooke Elizabeth Paramore, cum laude. Catherine Grace Pettit. Katrina Sender Poplet, summa cum laude. Sarah Leanne Regan, magna cum laude. Sarah Miller Rush. Zachary Robert Souter. Caleb Eli Schrockhurst, summa cum laude. April Eileen Shinsky. Hannah Janae Schultz, summa cum laude. Emma Petersheim. William Vaughn Stanley, summa cum laude. Catherine Noor Epp Weaver, magna cum laude. Robert Allen Weaver. Alexa Wendy Weeks. Rebecca Grace Wheat. Brittany Elaine Williams. Jana Michelle Williams. Elise G. Yoder, cum laude. Belen Bear Yoder, magna cum laude. Daniel Ryan Zook, magna cum laude. Dixie Lee Alexander. Emily Christine Augsburger, cum laude. Michael Ryland Austin, summa cum laude. Rachel Marie Bridigan, cum laude. Jeremy J. Brenneman. Liza Jane Brenneman. Stephanie Lene Slabaugh Brubaker, summa cum laude. Micah Hershey Buller. Lauren Elizabeth Brathwaite. Alyssa Renee Burkholder. Johanna Elise Burkholder, magna cum laude. Jason Lee Burnett. Timothy Patrick Callahan Jr., cum laude. Hannah Elizabeth Cash, magna cum laude. Morgan Renee Chestnut, cum laude. J. Martin Clark. Patricia J. Kraft, magna cum laude. Carla Renee Craig. Lisa R. Dempsey Carter. Diane Lynn DeVeers. Drew Michael Diaz, cum laude. Elizabeth Ann Drake. Taylor Nicole Esau, cum laude. Elizabeth Marie Usler. Ryan Cole Faraci. Jeremy P. Good. Braden Alexander Herman, cum laude. Austin Scott Huff, cum laude. V. Kagi. Samantha Lynn Kaufman, summa cum laude. Lee Christopher King. Maisie Faye Kirkley, cum laude. Jennifer Danielle Coons, magna cum laude. Wendy Ann Lamb. Honor Lim, cum laude. William Daniel Lutz, cum laude. Sierra Dawn Martin, summa cum laude. Anna Michaela Mast, summa cum laude. Grayson Yoder Mast, magna cum laude. Danielle Steele McCormick, magna cum laude. Lania Maya Ina McCoy. Taylor Ann Mortensen. Kennedy I. Okariki. Shay Delicia Powell, magna cum laude. Rada Kadir Qadir. Gabriel Philip Raber, cum laude. James Earl Ramsey III, summa cum laude. Catherine Ann Lehman, summa cum laude. Alejandra Yvette Tejada Rivera, cum laude. Wanfeng Roy Ruan, summa cum laude. Brendan Alexander Saladay. Susanna Catherine Nellie Sewell, summa cum laude. Aubrey L. Shelley. Hannah Meredith Sisson. Marshall Renee Smucker, summa cum laude. Brianna Vanessa Arlene Stannard. Rachel Nicole Sturm, cum laude. Christina Lee Tabor. Becca Danielle Tate. Haley Gabrielle Thomas, cum laude. Delight Nana Ama Tagoy, magna cum laude. Hannah Elise Walker, summa cum laude. Thomas Edward Walker II, cum laude. Laura Madeline Weaver, summa cum laude. Amanda Kate Williams, cum laude. Jingchuan Wu, cum laude. Siyuan Jung, Allison K. Yoder Zerker, summa cum laude. Genesis Vanessa Arzu. Clara Ann Bush. Julian Pollard Bustles. Joshua Mateo Calderon. Tristan Hunter Childress. Alexandra Black Daniel. Mary Rose Deskins. Debbie L. Emmerich. Fabiana Espinal. Denite Tsegay Gabretsedig. Megan E. Green. Grace E. He. Zachary Perry Headings. Lindsay Ayler Hess. Matthew Perry Holden. Emmanuel Njoli Kampanga. Emily Grace Kaufman. Ashley M. Kilhefner. Rashawn Michael Latimer. Louisa Angel Mallard. Mandy J. Miller. Aminata Walet Mohammed. Owen Robert Musselman. Abigail F. Musser. Lauren Christine Esch. Savannah Rives Olshove. Matthew Christopher Overacker. Emma Elizabeth Roth. Victoria Elizabeth Messick. Benjamin Joseph Rush. Natalia Nikolaevna Savolyak. Rachel Janae Shank. Catherine Ann Simmons. Justin Tyler Spanka. Quante Jamar Stewart. Nikita Sasai Stoll. Andre Michael Stutzman. Al Adolfo Vanegas. Adila Wadat. Manisha Alaya Walker. Elizabeth Kate Whitmer. Brianna Nicole Zook. Andrew Nelson Aldifer. Sanai Baharu. Sharon A. Baldwin. Kristen Kathleen Barbato. Parviz Baraji. Sarah Beth Campbell. Jasmine M. Carter. Phoebe Asamoah Coffey. Kimberly Ann Daly. Carrie Elizabeth Dean. Autumn Dawn Ferguson. Dallas Taylor McCall Fink. Kayla Elise Gordon. Isaiah C. Harris Wynn. Austin M. Hart. Mauricio Alejandro Treminio Herrera. Sarah Hall Jennings. Jasmine Faith Johnson. Skylar Patrice Johnson. Edward Jerome Jones. Malik Daquan Jones. Janae Danielle Kaufman. Tabitha K. Kaiser. Ryan Douglas Klein. Mary Elizabeth Lamb, cum laude. Brittany Christine McAllister. Chase Alexander Mercier. Heidi M. Miller. Julie D. Miller, cum laude. Carrie Miller DeLauder. Taylor Nicole Mararki. Kylie Montanez. Colleen Elizabeth Mood. Patricia Elaine O'Neill. Cindy S. Olmsted. Rose Marie Persinger. Sandra K. Purdom. Louisa Quinorki Quaynor. William Thomas Ragland. Kimberly Michelle Rickard. Luann Robinette. Erica Dejanay Robinson. Helen Christine Shiflett. Samuel Austin Shively. Jeremiah David Schultz. Renee Marie Thompson. Abraham E. Thorne. Tracy C. Triggs. Amber Lynn Vickers. Raleigh Marie Wade. Alicia Wenger Showalter. Ayubrahan A. Yifru. Michaela Brianne Zook. Please join me in congratulating the class of 2018.
Commencement is a day of celebration and farewell, but it is not a final goodbye. We continue to think of each one of you as part of our community scattered around the globe. At commencement, we send you with joy to carry what you learned here to new places and new people. To mark this transition, graduates, please stand as you are able and receive these words of commissioning. Graduates, today we send you, as God's Spirit calls, to serve and lead wherever your paths may take you in this wide world. Go as one of us, extending the mission of our university into a world crying out for peace and justice. Bear witness to truth, serve with compassion, and walk boldly in the way of nonviolence and peace. In our community of learning, you have acquired new knowledge, values, and skills. Use them to do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with God. Go, receiving and sharing the good news of love, grace, healing, and hope with all you meet along the way. Our prayers go with you. May God bless each of you with courage, wisdom, and joy for your journey. You may be seated.
We are honored today that the prayer of blessing will be delivered by Dr. Curtis Souter, a pediatrician in Stanton, Virginia. Dr. Souter serves as chair of our EMU Parent Council, and he is parent to graduating senior Zachary Souter. Following the prayer, the faculty and graduates will recess to the lawn above the fountain, and then we are going to go quickly into the gymnasium since it is raining, and that's where you can take pictures and have further conversations. Please do remain in your seats until all the graduates have recessed out of the tent. Following the recessional, the audience will be dismissed. So I now call Dr. Curtis Souter to the podium.
Let's pray. Loving God, we thank you for this day to celebrate the hard work and accomplishments of these graduates. We thank you for their opportunities to be immersed in the inspiring aspects of learning, to discuss the meaning of a Dostoevsky novel, to enjoy a beautiful tenor line from an old German hymn, to personally handle Lewis and Clark's journals, to participate in a perfectly timed through ball to beat an offside trap, or a well-executed hit and run, to enjoy the inherent beauty of cardiac physiology and calculus, to feel the passion of a match between Saprissa and Liga, or the introspection of a walk on the Jesus Trail. We thank you for the opportunity to learn the practical, placing an IV, making a lesson plan, learning to get along with a roommate. We thank you for the successes which are evident, grades earned, games won, performances nailed, as well as the learning experiences made possible by less successful endeavors. We thank you for learning that not getting an A is okay, as long as you did your best, and that being the best substitute you can be is as important as being the star, that the harmonies are as important as the melodies. We thank you for friends who help maintain sanity over late night pizza, mentors who guide, and lifelong partners met. We thank you for an education that emphasizes peace, justice, and service over fame and fortune. Grant that these graduates may go out with joy and be led forth with peace, that they may exhibit your love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, goodness, and faith in all that they do, that their life experiences lead them towards the simplicity on the other side of complexity. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.